Hey, right, I thought I would just please myself with today's video. Putting videos up on YouTube can be a bit of a treadmill at times, and sort of 2 or 3 times a year you encounter what's known as burnout. And you just reach a stage where you're really struggling to get the content out as you want to get it out. Now, I know people are very understanding in general on this channel, and you realise that, it is hard work. And they often give me sort of friendly advice, don't worry about it, if you can't get videos up, we don't mind, we'll still be here. And I really appreciate that, but the fact of life is with YouTube, this is my job, this is my main income. It didn't start off that way, it just started off as a hobby, but inevitably, if you're on YouTube for a long time, the amount of investment required to keep it going means that you've got to earn the money back through ad revenue to keep it going. And that's where burnout comes along every now and again. It's a bit like a vicious circle. So every now and again you just have to ease back a little bit on the throttle and cruise for a while. Which is what I'm doing today. Just something quick and easy that doesn't take an awful lot of time or effort so that I can just take a breather for a day. An unboxing of some parts for the new Royal Enfield 350 Classic. Well, it's a sort of an unboxing, I'll show you in a minute. Now, the 350's had to take a bit of a back seat for the last 2 or 3 weeks because obviously I've been tied up with the Scram 411. The Scram went back yesterday. The mule had been on holiday with friends for a week, so that's back now, because obviously there wasn't room in the garage for 7 bikes. And I needed to get access to the Scram at any opportunity, really. It's just a matter of fitting it in between production of other videos, because I'm generally working on at least 2 or sometimes 3 videos at a time. Now, when I very first got the 350, I had a chat with Dan at Hitchcock's. As you know, Hitchcock's have been a long-standing presence, if you like, for Royal Enfield motorcycle, right back since the 1980s, I think. Supplying parts for the various different models, old and new, when no one else was bothering, and they are now, of course, an official UK retailer for genuine Royal Enfield parts and spares. Again, for Royal Enfield motorcycles, both old and new. I do hear a lot of horror stories from people who've ordered parts from India, genuine spares for the new bikes, and the whole transaction has turned out to be a bit of an ordeal. I know quite often it goes okay as well, but what often seems to be the main issue is import duty and VAT when they land in the UK. A lot of people are not expecting that, and quite often the parts turn out in the long run to be far more expensive than if they just bought them from the local dealer or someone like Hitchcock's. And then we've got 1 or 2 UK based grey import retailers that are becoming a problem, selling genuine parts far cheaper than the official retailers are able to even buy them in for. And then of course you've got customers realising that they can't claim under the warranty for these parts through Royal Enfield because they were not officially imported. It's all a bit of a awkward situation, really. I mean, I know I don't always see eye to eye with MotoGP, the official UK importer, but they are doing a sterling job of circulating these fantastic new bikes around the UK. And that kind of behaviour through grey imports does sort of jeopardise the viability of businesses like MotoGP and all the official UK retailers that have, worked hard to get where they are. And let's face it, the official UK prices, both for the bikes and for the accessories and parts, are extremely reasonable considering the peace of mind that you do get by buying it through an official retailer. Now, neither MotoGP or Hitchcock's are paying me to make this video. This is just something that's been on my mind for a while. As I've said in the past, I deal with about 500 comments a day through this channel, through the various videos that I've produced over the years. And I do hear some real tales of woe from people that thought they were going to save a few quid. So they've ordered parts off eBay from India, or they've bought parts from a grey importer here in the UK, and the whole experience has just been a complete nightmare for them. just take that into consideration when you're looking for accessories for your new Royal Enfield motorcycle. Right, sorry about that, I went off at a bit of a tangent. Yeah, so I was having this conversation with Dan some weeks ago about using the 350 as a project bike, as we did the Continental GT, the Classic 500 and the Interceptor 650. Now, it's helpful for Hitchcocks, and it's also helpful to you for me to sort of get some of the genuine accessories or some of Hitchcock's own parts and accessories and show you how to fit them to the bike and do a little bit of a review as to how these parts work out, because that helps you while you're going through the decision making process about what parts you want to fit to your bike. It also helps you when it comes to fitting them, which in turn helps Royal Enfield by getting the word out and all their various official importers and retailers and people like Hitchcocks. And it helps me because hopefully I get enough views to make a little bit of money through the ad revenue to help keep the channel going. Everyone's happy. Now, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I received a box from Hitchcocks as a result of that conversation with Dan. Actually, I had no idea what was in it, other than I knew it would contain at least some of the parts that we'd discussed. So, in genuine YouTube fashion, what I thought I would do is just unpack the main box and have a look at what we've got in there, so you've got an idea of what you've got to look forward to in the coming weeks. Now, I'm not going to unpack the actual items, it's just a reveal really of what's coming up, so you're only going to see the outer cartons. Otherwise, that would just spoil the actual videos when I come to making them. Now, the first item that I came across in this box actually is not a genuine Royal Enfield part. It's one of Hitchcock's own products, a set of adjustable levers that I couldn't get out of the outer packaging. Now, these are a set of highly polished CNC machined levers for the new 350. These will fit the Meteor as well. Now, the rest of the bikes in the Royal Enfield lineup do have a different fitting, so these are specific to the new 350s. They look like a long reach lever, which does fit the sort of classic aesthetics in that way. But they are quite a modern design, and of course they are adjustable, and a lot of people have trouble with the span. So they have little choice, they've got to fit some adjustable levers so they can operate the bike properly. I'm sort of torn with these because unlike most of these types of levers, they are very highly polished. Does seem to sort of offset the modern design a bit. I'm sure Hitchcocks know what they're doing, but it's going to be one of those situations where it either doesn't look right or somehow it just works. We'll see how that goes. Next up, we've got a set of springs for the touring seat. The sprung seat has always been a feature of the Royal Enfield Classic series, and I pointed out in the review of the new 350 they've now been deleted. The seat fastens directly to the bike without any springs, which is a bit of a shame, but Royal Enfield do supply them as an optional accessory. Now, I've been told, and I've yet to confirm this, that these are just an aesthetic accessory. They don't actually make the seat into a sprung seat. They're intended just to give the new 350 that genuine classic look. So we'll see how that works out. Also in the box was a genuine Royal Enfield oil filter for the bike. As you know, I do all my own servicing. I'm not quite there with the bike yet. Obviously, as I've said, I've been tied up with the scram for the best part of 2 weeks. And I think I still have about 70 miles to go before the 350 is due for an oil change, so I will be needing that soon. And I'll say this now before we go any further, don't leave any comments in the comments section about servicing your bike and how it affects your warranty, or asking me questions about it. I've made entire videos on this in the past. I'll just delete your comment. Do your own servicing or don't do your own servicing and take it to your dealer. I really don't care. I just make videos for those people who are interested. Right, next up we have the touring seat, both the Rider's touring seat and the pillion seat for the classic 350. And actually these were the last two items in the box. Now I chose brown because I think, you know, from my point of view, they give the bike a more vintage look. It's just my preference. They are of course available in black. I don't know what they look like yet because I didn't unpack them. Now, the standard rider seat on the 350, I've got to say, comfort-wise, is fantastic. So it'll be interesting to see just what difference these comfort seats or touring seats offer. One thing I do know from previous experience is that Royal Enfield usually puts a little bit more embellishment into these seats to make them stand out from the standard seats. And I've always found them in the past to be a big step up sort of aesthetic quality wise. So we'll see how that works out. Now, I suppose to make this a little bit more interesting, why don't you leave a vote in the comments section as to what part you want to see me fitting to the 350 first. Not including the oil filter, obviously, because, you know, it's going to be dependent on me getting the mileage in and getting all my ducks in the row ready to do the service. So let me know whether you want to see me fitting the full seat kit first with the springs or whether you would like to see the levers first. And just to muddy the waters a little further, I'm actually going to Hitchcock's tomorrow, which will be today when you're watching this video, to test ride one of their late series Himalayans. So I may well come back with a few more bits and pieces, we'll see. So anyway, that's it for this video, just a little teaser if you like as to what's going to happen with the 350 in coming weeks. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, I really do appreciate it. I would also appreciate it if you found this video useful, if you would leave a like and perhaps subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell and ensure that your notifications are enabled. 73% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribers. Of course, I am going to be back next week, so until then, if you're riding, please ride safely, and I'll see you soon.